crisp feeling in the air. There's a leaf on the ground. Summer's over, babe. We're going back to school. On today's pod with Trina Alpert and Jared Waters. Here we go. Let's get these questions from the DMs. Yep. All right, well, that's what I heard. So what do you want me to tell you? Hi, welcome to the pod, everybody. Everything I just said about there being a crisp chill in the air and a leaf on the ground is a lie, thanks to climate change. Still hot as all hell. I don't know if it's climate change or what the deal is, but how do we even know when it's time to go back to school anymore? It used to be that fall feeling.
There's
now,
a smell.
There's no context clues anymore. So Jared is an expert on this subject because he is a teacher for 10 years as well as a stand-up comedian. But as a teacher, how do you know it's time to go back to school?
When they send that email. When they send that email, I need you back at work.
What does the email say? It's like a heads up about what day you're going to be starting, or you already know?
It'll say, returners, this is your start date. We need you back August 22nd. Wow. And then your body starts. Your body don't start dreading it, but your body's like, all right, man. Get your game face back on.
Listen, has anyone ever had a summer? I think a summer glow up is really the most inspirational part of American culture.
Actually,
could even be happening this summer.
It did happen to me in 7th grade.
And
7th grade is when my dad packed us up and went to Tokyo, and that's when all these birds started flocking to me. To be honest with you,
when you got to Tokyo, wait, give us some context to why you packed up and went to Tokyo, please.
So my dad's in the my dad was in the military. He was in the Air Force. And I remember we're down south, and I didn't think I was ugly. I was just striking out. I don't know what it was. It was like striking out on a T-ball league. It was set up for me to win, but I was like a young two to be in my grade. I was a grade ahead. And I remember I finally got my mojo into 7th grade, started talking to chicks. Chicks were talking to me, and then boom, got up out of there.
Wow.
But when I went to Tokyo, it was game on.
You're a Tokyo 10.
I was a Tokyo 10.
Damn.
I was.
Absolutely.
Tokyo Drift. I was sliding on them things, swerving on it. Come on. Hit the glitch again. Come on. Clutch. All clutch.
So what was it like going to school in Tokyo? But were you around other American kids, or were you around kids from Tokyo?
So it was around, it's an Air Force base. So all the kids were like American, but it was just Americans from different places. California dudes, New York, so everything else. Everybody's from like different locations, so everybody's bringing their different salsa to like the pot. So
what's your favorite type of them?
I love Southern people. Southern people, we got this respect for each other that we have like a common interest of what we all grew up around. But it was cool just meeting people from the Midwest, like them big old cornfield boys and stuff like that. Sweethearts. I met tons of New Yorkers, and then
sweethearts in our own way. New Yorkers.
Dude, shout out to my dude Akil. That was the first dude I met from New York, from the Caribbean. And he was like the fastest dude we ever seen on the track field. And it was just cool just meeting. So it made me very diverse of just meeting people from different towns. Because that's the first thing you do when you're military brat. Where are you from? Where did you live? Where are your people from? And that's how you like bond with people.
Do you feel like, would you act different like towards kids from different places?
I didn't have to act anymore. Like when you get to Japan, you just like, it's like mutants. You find you're finally mutant because everybody's moved like you. So you don't have to pretend. Because when you're bouncing around a lot, you always are very defensive. Because I'm like, all right, I got to be the new kid again. I got to see if these boys don't like me and everything else. I got to probably fight these guys because they're upset and they don't know anything about me. So when I got to Japan, I just met a whole bunch of people just like me. So I didn't have to. I could just be my weird Dragon Ball Z loving self because everybody else is in Dragon Ball Z.
Yeah. Tokyo King.
Come on, dog. Shout out to Vegeta. You know what I'm saying? No Goku's around here. Oh, you right with Goku?
Yeah, I mean, I don't really know. It's the only like name I can think of real quick off the top. What about like Squirtle?
Squirtle!
Yeah, I was just trying to connect with you.
To be honest, it was so crazy like being in Japan because they're light years ahead of us. So everything that we were into, like coming there, I'm like 2000s. So I was like, oh, Dragon Ball Z. And there's like, what? My parents watched that.
Yeah, that's like someone bringing up the Dukes of Hazzard here. We're like, what?
Like my parents watched this. I was so excited. This guy gave me a DVD. I was like, that's how the show ends? He goes, it ends.
Wow.
Wow.
Damn.
Fucking spoiler alert.
So you had the Tokyo glow up. You ever have a glow up? I would say I wouldn't call it a glow up. It was kind of like a glow down, but I did look better. But like my spirit diminished between 11th and 12th grade.
Yo, same.
Like
in a
I
weird
looked
way.
like I looked better, but my spirit was diminished.
Yes.
Interesting, right?
It's so weird.
It's like a reverse glow up or like a hybrid glow up.
Yeah.
Little down, little up.
Yeah.
2 glows.
Yeah, I was Googling like what is a summer glow up. And unfortunately I did read like multiple posts from teenagers and I am dumber for it. It's literally like number 1, drink more water than you even think you need to. Number 2, do a mask twice a week, Wednesdays and Fridays. Number 3, put Vaseline on your eyelashes. Yeah.
Well, no, like Frex said, so like junior to senior year, 11 to 12, that summer I started like dating this drug dealer on my block. And so
Shout out the Bronx.
I did, shout out BX. And so I did come back with like,
glow up.
yeah, it was. I was wearing like so
Different
much
cars,
more gold. Yeah, I was wearing
Different
so much
cars.
You
more.
wouldn't believe the tint on that car. I mean, it was an improvement.
Yeah, I was wearing a lot more jewelry. I was, my sneaker game was a little elevated. I don't know, but my spirit was diminished
Was he
because
buying
he
you
was
stuff?
garbage. He was garbage.
Was he buying you sneaks? Or were you just putting a little bit more effort into the flair?
No, he was buying me stuff.
Yeah, I like that.
Like here and there.
What else
not
did you get?
not exclusively. No, just like
Get a purse?
no,
Get a
no. 'Cause
chain?
I'm not a purse, but
Did
listen,
they give you a pearl handle Glock?
a black
Just kidding.
a black plastic bag is
give
my
A
you-
purse.
black plastic bag.
Is my purse from the bodega.
Glow up again. 11th grade. I glue up again.
Double glow up.
Double glow up.
It happened in 2
Start
phases.
lifting weights.
Oh,
That's when we started partying hard too.
Of course.
So yeah, I moved from Japan to the Netherlands.
What?
And that's yeah. That was Japan was fun, but the Netherlands, that's when I was in my man body, like that pre-man body, and it was just foam parties, everything else.
Wow.
That
They
would
were like,
go
yeah,
wild.
very cool, Jared.
yeah, they get freaky deaky.
Or they
Freaky,
and they-
dinky, Jared. Come in the jacuzzi, Jared. Very cool.
please don't talk to my girl. They used to say that too. Black Americans, please don't take my girl. I was like, come on, be respectful, man.
It's probably around the time of like Mr. Steal Your Girl.
This is when George Bush was in office.
Oh wow.
This is when they didn't like us.
Oh, okay. And you just
Remember
have
they
to go
didn't like
there.
Americans? For a while they hated Americans. And we're
And
just
you're just
sitting
like,
there.
it's not me, dude. It's not me.
No, it was us.
100%.
It was us.
And you're with the Air Force. It's like, yeah, it's us.
It was us. Yeah, when I went to college, it wasn't a glow down. It was more like I was like my wings were clipped. I couldn't really everything was like closed at 2 a.m.
Yeah,
so I was just like, man, this is it. That's all we're doing. Just going to Waffle House and chilling.
Wait, where'd you go to school? I've known you for years. I don't even know.
East Carolina University, alumni of Sandra Bullock and Vince McMahon.
Wow.
Come on, dog. You know, that's where Vince McMahon
So
met Linda
specific.
Man at East Carolina.
Wow.
If it wasn't for that, WWF wouldn't have been established or WWE. Love, Greenville, North Carolina.
Wow.
And none of us would have ever.
You never did.
Yes, none of us would have ever told
Everybody's-
people to suck
Yeah.
it.
Who's your favorite wrestler of all time?
All right. So the only one that comes to mind is Buff Bagwell.
What?
That's the only one
Wow.
I remember really.
Remember he had the
I
little
used to love
toupee in
Buff
the.
Bagwell. I mean, definitely like a crystal meth addict or something. I don't know what was going on there. Not a good sign that I was attracted to Buff.
He had double earrings and
Yeah.
a choker. He wore a choker.
Not a good sign.
did. He had a
literal
choker, yes.
He looked like a gay stripper.
He's like a Delia's girly.
No, literally.
He did,
He was a Delia's
Yes.
girly.
He had a choker.
You're like, I love this guy's style. You probably didn't even want to fuck him. You were like, I want to be him.
And he would wear the hats, like that Mad Hatter hats.
Yeah.
Out of control.
Buff Bagwell. Man,
I had
haven't
like
heard that name in a
I had like
long
a
time.
wrestling figure.
Oh.
Like I don't know what it was. It was like an action
Oh, the
figure. or
action
something.
figure. Oh, I
Yeah.
thought you meant like you're.
Oh, no.
I was like, you were jacked.
No. I just
She's like, I had a
I
wrestling
just found out
figure.
about kettlebells mere 2 weeks ago. So
Yeah. Yeah.
the kids still watch wrestling. Okay, so what's going on with the kids? Can you give us a state of the union with the kids?
Yeah,
They
word.
watch wrestling. They're into Dragon Ball Z, and they're like gamers, just like legit gamers now.
Are they sweet though?
Yeah,
Like,
they're all sweet.
do you feel like confident about the kids, or is it as bad as people say?
I think it all depends where you are. I'm confident that you got a good teacher. Most of the kids will come out like very nice. I seen like some tough kids, like, and all of a sudden when you talk to them, they're like very sweet people when you talk to them.
Right.
It's misunderstood. You know, we're all like that. Especially when you're a teenager, you don't know what to do with your emotions or anything.
I would just walk around and just be like, "You're ugly,"
Or just
because I
think,
was like mad and sad, and I would just be like, "You're ugly" to people.
well, look at the teacher. All the teachers now, like young, they're
They're hot.
young teachers.
I know.
Young teachers, and they like actually care. So it's like our teachers when we went to school, they would say the wildest stuff to us.
Yeah.
They said the craziest stuff to us all the
Yeah.
time, and no one did anything. Like
Wild.
now you can't even talk about a child. It's against the law to talk about like them outside of work and stuff like that. So it's like the child is very protected.
Oh, so like yeah, so you can't go tell your friends like, "Oh, this kid did this today."
You can't tell like they're whatever this person is like their personal thing. So it's good like now that everyone's protecting them. But like now I meet teachers who like grew up like wanted to be a teacher and like they care. They'll cry like today. They just watch the video. Some kid wrote her a note about like, hey, you changed my life, and she just broke down and started crying.
I'm gonna cry.
Yeah, I've been in the game a long time. So all the kids that I know, I think the first batch of kids that I've taught now, they're going into they're sophomores in high school.
Wow.
But I know their parents. Their parents were down in Florida, so they'll write me and like, hey, oh, look, he's a high schooler.
You're still in touch with some of the parents?
Yeah, I'm like, man, yeah.
That's
When they found out I
huge.
did stand up, they all started coming to shows, and I had to tell them stop.
The
coming.
parents said, yeah, I get it.
Yeah,
You
they
gotta-
heckling and stuff like that.
Are you ever worried about? Well, I guess with kindergarteners, it doesn't really make a difference. But are you ever worried about the kids finding your stand up?
They all found it. They all, like the middle school kids found it, and they're like, they think it's cool. Like, oh, well. But the little ones, they understand, but they don't get the gist of like the jokes. They just think I'm a clown, really, when they think he just sings all the time.
Right.
But like when I got on like the Tamron Hall show, like all their parents were like hitting me up, like, oh my God, we saw you on TV, everything else. And they're just like, they didn't care at all.
They didn't care at all.
They really didn't care. I was like, do y'all think Mr. Jared can make it? They're like, no.
Oh my God.
They're so honest about themselves. So like it's really good. Like I've never taught another grade. They're self-centered, so it keeps me more focused about not worrying about stand-up sometimes, because they deserve all your attention,
Can you be on the phone during the class?
Well, yeah, sometimes like people texting you emails and
you're
stuff like that. A little that, but most of the time, like with kindergarten, every other grade probably can, but kindergarten you got to watch them because they always get into something.
Some kind of
They
trouble.
still choose shit at 5 years old, right?
They still chew.
They still see things that are like, I wonder what this is.
They're slipping and
chew it.
falling a lot.
Yeah. They're
You-
still getting their bearings.
Drop milk all over the floor.
Yeah. Yeah.
I'm sorry. I was like, it's all right. Paper towels, no worries.
I put my pants in kindergarten.
I was going to say, probably still peeing on themselves
No,
sometimes.
nah. Most of them are all trained before they get to kindergarten.
Well, no,
It
but
was an
sometimes like you
accident.
hold it.
Yeah, it was an
Oh, yeah,
accident.
yeah.
I was trying to hold it because I didn't want to get involved with the bathroom because it was kind of shady. And, but there were some shady people in there. I didn't want to get involved. So I was like, I'm going to hold it.
I would hold it because I didn't want to give up like playing or like telling
Yeah.
whatever story I was talking about.
Yeah.
Shoot, the pandemic, that was the funnest time to teach.
Oh, yeah. So do you think the
I
kids
loved
are a
it.
little...
I mean, they're
Messed up?
traumatized. That was
Yeah.
like 2 years not being in school. They're like learning how to play with their friends now. Some of them are more like online now because they're just like, they remember those 2 years being online. But me, I loved it. I was teaching from home. It was like only
Yeah.
2 hour days. I was like, oh, good night, everybody. See you later. Oh, gotta go. Send us a Mr. Jerry. Oh, sorry.
Would you
Class
put
is
the
over.
effort in to like put a nice shirt on? Like a button down or something?
No, we were just in the house. Because had a virtual screen, everything else. So it was just like the school hoodie, everything else. But I had pants on. Everybody else is
course.
probably doing wild stuff.
Oh
Wow.
my God.
But like some people like compression shorts, everything else. I was actually like legit, sat at my table.
Trying to be respectable. Yeah.
Yeah. And then, but as soon as it was over, oh, goodbye, Mr. John. Class is over.
COVID was awesome.
It was.
I got to say it. I mean, we know.
Shoot, I want another pandemic,
Me
to be
too.
honest with you. Give me
but
about
the thing
3
is,
months.
it's never like your first time.
Yeah.
Nah, it will be.
You know-
No, I
No,
don't
because
think
you know
so.
what? We're never getting that unemployment again. Maybe like you were working the whole time, so it was different. But I was like,
Yeah.
that I
If
go,
I
this
wasn't
is never
working-
happening again, bro. Just enjoy this.
If I wasn't working, I would have enjoyed it. But I was just like, even like when we got back from the pandemic, it was hybrid days, 2 days there, 1 day at home, 2 days back.
And then constantly being shut down.
Oh, someone's got COVID.
So
Let's
fun.
go home.
I love a little chaos.
Shut it
like
down.
a little something wrong. Makes
Yeah.
me like a little, it gives a little variety to life. You know what I mean? So fun. A little pandemic.
And the some people just being at home. Imagine people who just had babies and you get 2 years to just be with that child for 2 years.
Yeah.
Were we locked up for 2 years or for one?
I don't remember.
2020,
I was only locked up
about
for like
you?
6 months.
like 10 months. It was like 10 months.
I worked at a restaurant, so I went back in like 4 months after.
What? Really?
Well, yeah,
Yeah,
because
it's
they
my
opened
favorite-
up in the
is-
summer.
Oh, yeah.
For
you're
We
outdoor.
opened up for outdoor in like
yes.
June or July, I think.
I like
so
the
from
outdoor.
March to like July, I didn't work, but then I went back in July. It was my favorite period of waitressing ever.
Yeah. Summer 2020 was
Because it was
the
so
best
much
summer
chaos.
on record.
Because it was like, oh, sorry, you can't actually come into the restaurant. Talk to Cuomo. Not my problem with that.
But you can take this drink with you. You can go
You're just
walk
like
around.
just making up the most random rules. Like,
Yeah.
oh, sorry, we're actually like not allowed to give out ketchup. So I
Sorry.
don't know. Talk to Cuomo, man.
Cuomo
Fucked.
did it.
Fucked, man. It's De Blasio. It's ruining this city. You
Stay
know.
inside.
just the wildest rules that just caused this chaos that made me so comfortable and happy.
New York City was fun.
So
Yes.
fun.
Dog, I loved the pandemic. That was when that
too.
was my glow up
Me
in the
too.
pandemic.
I
I
had the-
glued the F up.
Me too. So much parking.
So much
says Mike.
parking. We only had to move our car once a week.
I know, never. Remember
Never.
they suspended it
Yes,
completely forever,
yes.
and then they brought it back to one. But for a while, it was none.
One day, that's it. Whatever the first day was, that was perfect. What's up, New York City Mayor? Who's the mayor? Eric Adams.
Eric
Fix
Adams.
the parking, man.
Fix the fucking parking.
Come on, once a week. That's what we need.
I'm on my knees begging for de Blasio back. You ever think you'd hear the day, huh?
Shout out to de Blasio. Get your wife back too, dog. Stop playing.
You need to go
Yo.
get that woman back.
Dead ass.
He lost his wife. The pandemic, and he lost his wife. They stayed together for a couple months. She couldn't take it. Shout out to Big Bill and
Yeah,
his.
she had to go.
She had to go, or he had to go. They still live in the same
Bill's
house,
a
right?
wild boy. Yeah, different floors, I guess.
Get the freak
They're
out.
trying to fuck other people.
That's wild.
Bill's just a wild boy. I mean, talk about just no social skills.
You met him?
Why did I say it like that?
Yeah.
Skills.
Bill de Blasio.
No, I've never met him, but just the things he does is just wild.
Yeah, he looks
I
kind of
respect
weird.
it though, but I don't think any mayor of New York has ever been like normal. Name one. They're all off.
Normal?
Rudy Giuliani's like
No one's
leaking
normal.
fucking jet fuel.
Oh.
Well, David
It's like-
Dinkins. David Dinkins was normal.
I don't even remember him.
Oh.
When was he?
Harvey Dent? No, that's Batman.
He
Koch.
was Dinkins. Dinkins was after Koch and before Giuliani.
Okay, so I do.
So he was like
so
my
I do
first
remember.
mayor of my consciousness. Yeah.
Who was after Giuliani?
Bloomberg.
Billy D. Oh no, Bloomberg, of course.
For, like,
He was that
100
long?
years,
That's a
100
long
years,
time to
yeah.
be mayor.
well,
Yeah.
he was for like 12 years. He starts to get a little like,
Yeah.
what's he gonna do here?
He started to get a little Putin-esque.
Yeah.
He goes, "Oh, we voted." Everyone says yes. Okay, we'll keep going.
Mayor
He was
Bloomberg
riding
for
those Central
12
Park
years.
horses
Yeah.
with no shirt on. No, I'm kidding.
He was Vladimir. That would have been cool. That pandemic brought so many people together and freaking outdoor shows, outdoor comedy shows. That was the first time in New York City for me. Coming from Florida, dog, it was just like there's so many comics in New York City, and everybody left. They went back to whatever town they were from, and only 50 comics stayed. It was like a bubble, and all the 50 ones that stayed, no one could ever say, Jared's not funny, because there's only 5 shows a night. And out of those 5 shows, I'm on 3 of them, and you got to know who I am.
That's right.
And then, boom. Then when the scene opened back up, I was like, come on, dog. I told everybody from the South, whatever you do, don't go back home. Stay here. Trust me, man. And after that first show was like the first show Michael Che did that in like
the Culture Lab in
I remember
LIC.
that thing. Then after that, it was like, boom. Everybody else started doing park shows. Then we put our park show out there, and the next, people start coming to our park. I can't tell you how many crazy people came to our park show because there was nothing else to do.
That was, I think, listen, God bless everyone who runs a million shows, because I've been a producer running different shows in different boroughs, but like it was nice for a moment to know that there's kind of only one show a night. And it's like, I'm going to go here and all my friends are going to be there because
Totally.
it's the only thing happening.
Yeah,
That was nice.
The FOMO was finally gone
Yes.
for that one beautiful summer.
Yes.
We had no FOMO. And I hope that the audience doesn't get FOMO while we take a quick break. See you after the break, bitch. Sweetheart gang, assemble.
Sweet, 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 sweet.
All right, everybody, welcome back from break. We're having a short chip break. Sweetheart Trina showed up to the show today with 17 bags of chips. She got some White Claws. She treats the guests better than I treat the guests, and she is a guest.
Come on.
I need to take a cue from Sweetheart Trina.
Cheers.
Cheers to the good life.
So my teacher killed himself.
Which teacher?
Well, here's the thing. Here's what happened. Beware the beloved teacher.
That's facts.
Beware, like, over the top. Like, there's this teacher, was one of the most loved people in the world. Like, the kids went to his wedding. He had, like,
that's
he was,
weird.
like, teaching kids how to, like, build robots, and he had all these reptiles in the classroom. He started a camp. He would have these picnics at Kensico Dam where all the students could come, just, like, beloved. I'm minding my own business 30 years later, okay? And you hear about so-and-so? I said, no, what happened?
He's in
They go,
deep.
he went out on his boat, killed himself. I said, well, what did he do? And I'm praying it's embezzlement.
Yeah, I'm thinking you're in deep at the casino or something.
I'm
Yeah.
praying for embezzlement right now, but we all know that we're thinking something else, okay? Right?
Yeah.
And so, but nobody will spill the beans. I'm texting everyone from the town. I'm saying, what'd you hear about him? But people are so emotionally attached to this person that, like, admitting that this was a flawed and possibly criminal man. They can't even get there because they loved him so much. But then an article came out. There's only one article, and it just says that it confirms, like, yeah, he was under a police investigation. And at the time that he took his life, he had been told not to show up on the school grounds until the investigation was complete. Doesn't say what though.
Did he have a wife?
Wife and kids.
Probably. Is his wife still alive?
Yeah. Insurance?
Could be insurance.
Talk to me, dog. Tell me something
Insurance.
good, because I don't want to
Could be
believe that he's
insurance.
touching the kids. I don't want it to be that.
Don't think that. It might be insurance. His wife probably killed him.
Oh, I like that.
I always think that. Insurance, you got to think about, he had good life care, life insurance. That's a good $500,000. She probably, what small town are y'all from?
It's not that
not
small.
a small
Suburb.
town.
Oh.
500,000 isn't
Oh.
even
Yeah,
like a
Westchester.
condo.
She made it seem like it was a small town.
No.
Where y'all, what's?
What? Eastchester, New York.
Oh, in
It's
New
like a
York.
half hour north of me.
Well, imagine getting $500,000 and moving to Florida and living that good life, or moving to Atlanta, Georgia.
Kind of off topic. I got a text from my dad the other day. It says turbulence on the plane. 2 policies. Northwest Mutual.
Wow.
Anyway, just thought I'd throw that in there. But yeah, so you think I love
Could be health insurance.
This is how sick the world is. I'm so thrilled for you to present the hypothesis that maybe his wife just killed him.
Maybe his wife killed him. Maybe
Because he was fucking kids?
no.
Oh.
Or maybe that he was about to find out. She's about to find out something. Maybe he hooked up with someone at his job. You know what I'm saying, or something like that. Maybe it was another teacher, and they set him up and was like, "Hey, this is how much his life policy is." He told his wife, and he went out to the lake, and she put that tammer to the back of his skull.
Oh my God.
Wiped his
Jared.
prints into it, then boom, Lifetime. I watch it. Lifetime, yeah.
Was this a
You
high
see these
school
murder
teacher?
documentaries on Netflix? That's
Yeah.
deeper than rap.
Yeah.
Come on, dog. Or he was about to get busted because of the voter conspiracy happening in Georgia. And he knew if everybody would have found out how he really voted, he just popped himself off.
Wow.
He didn't want that mugshot with DT.
Yeah, he's a big Trump boy.
He was in real life?
I don't know.
Probably was. East, whatever. What part of New York? did he-
Eastchester.
Eastchester. I know how they get down up there.
Yeah, it's a very Trumpy town.
Oh, he
Is
know-
it?
Yeah, for real.
Yeah, he know what it was. He's about to
For
get...
real.
FBI was about to
interesting.
find him for being out there on January 6th.
Wow, I like this hypothesis.
School said don't show up.
Oh my God. Maybe he was at the Capitol.
Everything
He was
that's
at the
being said
Capitol.
right now is so much better than what I assumed.
Yeah,
Because
you
he was a
think-
third grade teacher.
Nah, they're not. Yeah.
And then I hate to hear that. In my mind, I go, the best case scenario is that he fell in love with like a 17-year-old camp counselor at his camp.
You'll
And
be
that's
s-
the best case scenario.
You'll be surprised how many teachers were out at January 6th
Really?
that got arrested
What do you think that's about?
Why weren't they in school?
because they were protesting the election. Because they were,
Holiday breaks are not that
Because they were
long.
defending democracy?
they were the protest. You'll be surprised. Like tons of them were just there running in the White House. Like, look what I got for history class.
Ugh. Now, do
They're-
they lose their jobs for that, or what's the deal?
Probably when you get the FBI thing. But I
Yeah.
mean, sometimes it's just, I think it depends where you are, what coast you're at, you know?
Yeah.
Like New York City, we're very heavily to the left. But down south, I'm pretty sure they took off school so they can go down there, you know,
Yeah.
or go up there.
Definitely. National holiday down
Yeah,
south.
but yeah, your buddy, he's about to get them papers on him. That
Dude,
RICO
dude.
charge, yeah, that was about to happen.
He is going on a Rico.
He didn't want to go out like Gunn and snitch, you know what I'm saying? So he knew.
Yeah. Is Young Thug still in jail?
Still in jail.
He is.
That's a tragedy.
It is. Free my dog, Young Thug.
I mean,
Seriously.
seriously, free him. Free that man.
Free
Yeah.
that man.
Can I tell you something? Wait, he's the one who did Busting Out the Bando. That's him, right? Was that
I don't
him?
even know.
He has way more music, but yes.
But what? No, was that him? Okay, because
Yeah.
I want to make sure I'm
Trapping
like
out the bando, yes.
on a right stream of consciousness. I was at Chappelle on Saturday night last weekend. And, you know, he always has musical guests, whatever. So T.I. comes out
Wow.
and Dro comes out. We were hitting that shoulder lean crazy, okay? And so then, but then they did that, right? They did that song, Busted Out the Bit. Okay, so it's not to say anything about anything. Feel free to cut this also. There's a girl behind me, not melanated whatsoever. Okay? She's like,
It was me.
not melanated at all.
Screaming that N-word
But there's a girl,
weather.
and so when you hear, she's like, busted out the bando. And she's like with the song for the first like 16 bars. And I'm like, bitch, you better fucking go ahead, right?
Oh, she was doing good.
Yeah, no, she was doing
Okay,
great. She was doing
okay.
great. But I look, and here's the thing, ladies. Don't fucking dim your light, okay? If you're a thug in your heart, be a thug in your heart. I don't give a fuck. Because the guy she was with, I don't know what he said. All I know is that I heard she like stopped singing and I saw her look at him and she literally went, "What?"
He knew she was trying to go
like-
backstage.
Yeah.
Fully about trapping.
Yeah. He knew there's a better life for her out there, and he doesn't want her to
she's
see
like,
it.
"Wait, what?" And I'm like, "Girl, if you like that song, sing that shit."
She had a past.
Damn.
She was Trina in high school. She knew about them drug dealers.
That's what I'm saying.
That's like me in Eastchester, New York. White as can be. I'm like,
Trapping out the
I'm like, yo,
bando.
I'm a little Frex, bitch.
Yeah.
You talking?
No, it's facts.
Come on, put them freckles on everything.
Freak the freckles off my face. That was one of my songs.
Really?
Really?
I sampled the Schoolboy Q song where he like, freak the freckles on my face, give me some, and I just like looped that, freak the freckles on my face, freak the freckles on my
Schoolboy
face.
Q.
Yeah. Why are you laughing? Because he's corny and bad?
No, Schoolboy Q is
He's
fire.
a man. That's what I'm saying. Okay, that's
Oxymoron,
what-
yeah.
Amazing. Yeah. Okay.
Boy, collard greens.
Amazing.
Yeah.
That's what
Come on.
that's what the freak my freckles is from. Collard greens. Give me some. Freak the freckles on my face.
Keep doing your rap.
Whatever happened to him?
He has a daughter. Still out in, I don't think it, Rolling 60s Crip. That's what it says in the song.
Really?
Yeah, he went through some severe depression. He
Yeah.
talks about that in his
I think
music.
he has a drug problem.
Super
probably.
depressed.
Yeah.
Yeah. But that first album, Oxymoron,
Incredible.
fire.
Fire.
I'm the man. About to break the bank.
Motherfucking man. I don't. What is it? The man of the year.
Man of the year.
Man of the year. Man of the
Come
year.
on, dog. We got to turn it. We got to.
So good.
We should have partied in high school together. We had a
I
good
know.
time.
I did have a good time.
When did you graduate? What year?
2006. Don't.
Oh,
sue
What?
me.
Hey,
You too?
come on. F yeah.
Hell yeah.
Come on.
2006.
50 came out 03.
Oh, it's
8th
huge.
grade. Then
Basketball
Kanye came
practice,
out
forget
05. There's a lot of stuff happening. Who else? Little John East Side Boys. Ludacris.
Lil Jon.
Trina.
That's
Ooh,
right.
It was,
Remember Trina?
The baddest
Of
bitch.
course.
Remember her? She was just at the Hip Hop 50.
Come
I was
on,
losing
Trina.
my mind.
I remember when I first heard Shauna on Lick 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 on What's Your Fantasy, and I was like, I got to turn this off. This girl, she was going way too hard.
I remember being like in home ec class, like 6th grade. It's like, I want the John Joe crack on top of me because I want to like that. Just break my back. Come on. Like singing with all my heart.
Yeah.
And like the teacher was from like Ohio, Miss Wozniak. She was like, okay, Emma, please. That was the same very class that I got up and presented you had to like make put like a slogan, like a quote on a piece of poster board and like present it. And I had seen on AIM,
Hey, messenger.
like people would be like, when worst comes to worst, my girls come first or whatever, and then list all their friends. So I wrote that, but I spelled it cum, like cum.
Oh my God.
Because I didn't even know. And I just got up. I was like, yo, when worst comes to worst, my girls come first.
She was light years ahead.
She was like, okay, Emma, thank you.
Good night, everybody.
I'm like, and break my bag because like she was horrified.
I had G-Unit shirts, everything. And spaghetti straps.
Oh, the tank tops?
I was
Yeah.
heavy in it, yeah. We all grew up in the same era, y'all know.
Yeah.
We had wild times.
You know
It was
what's going
good.
on. But so, okay, so let's just bring it back to like the theme of the show, back to school. So like kids today, are they fun? Like we were fun. We were demented in certain ways for sure.
It's different because I got kindergarten, so like I don't know, their fun is completely different. Like I don't remember
Yeah.
my kindergarten experience at all. I don't remember any pictures of it all. I was just too young.
I remember everything.
But what of kindergarten?
Yeah.
I don't
My
remember.
teacher,
I don't remember my
the
teacher.
bad kid, motherfucking Lewis, who pulled the seat out from under me when I went to go sit next to Daniel, who I had a crush on. Motherfucker. I remember everything.
My earliest memory is 2nd grade because I remember I killed our class goldfish.
Something 2nd grade earliest memory.
Yeah, I don't remember. I remember going to school. I just don't remember the teacher's face. I don't remember. I remember
Something bad must happen.
No, I remember my mom. I remember my mom just like, look,
repressed.
show me a yearbook, and she's like, I was like, why would they call me Mikey? She goes, that's what they called you. They just called you Mikey.
What?
My middle name's Michael, but she goes, they said Mikey. I was like, what? I was at some like private school or something. But I remember like 2nd grade because we moved, and I remember like they wouldn't let me feed the goldfish, and I was so mad about that. I was like, why can't I feed the goldfish? And she goes, if you're a good boy, one day you can feed the goldfish. But turns out my dad told her Jared's allergic to seafood, keep him away from that fish tank.
Oh.
But she never told me that. So I said, F it. So I started feeding the goldfish, and they all just exploded. I put all the food in the tank and dumped it in there when I left on a Friday.
And they exploded?
That goldfish eat themselves to death, yeah. Poof. And she called my dad. Called him off work,
Killed all the
too.
goldfish.
He walked in there with his freaking uniform on. I knew it was over.
Oh, and he's like a top dog in the military, right?
He was.
And he had to walk in there.
He walked
after
in.
his son
They called
just
him off
killed all
work.
the freaking goldfish.
He did spank me, but he was just like, he goes, "Why'd you kill those goldfish?" I was like, "She never got me. Let me get a turn." And then he was about to hit me, and he goes, "I told her you're not allowed to feed the goldfish because you're allergic to seafood." I said, "Well, she never told me that." And he turned around and marched back in there and yelled at her. And I was like, "Yeah, my dad got my back." And then he took me and goes, "You don't got enough money to be killing people's goldfish." He made me use all my allowance to go. We didn't know where to find goldfish from. He had me in a pond, like trying to scoop out fish.
Oh my
I was like,
God.
"Where you get goldfish?" "I don't know. I think they down there." So we're just sitting there trying to catch fish and stuff like that.
You
Black
have
people don't
enough
got
money
goldfish.
to be killing people's goldfish.
Wasting all these people's money killing their fish.
Wait, now listen to this. This is bringing up a memory for me. So when I was a kid, we went to the town pool, Lake Isle, of course, shout out. And there was one day they called it like Kids Day, and they would just dump goldfish, live goldfish, into one of the kiddie pools, and the kids would go in and just scoop them out, like fish for them with their hands, and then put them in like a bag and take them home.
Okay.
And I remember I got 2 goldfish, and then I took them home, and by the time they got upstairs, they were dead because they were in a bag filled
chlorine.
with chlorine water.
Yeah.
What the?
The fuck is wrong with people? This is 90s culture.
Yeah, that's
This is just 90s culture.
yeah. Pick up a fish, put it in there.
They're like, all right. And this was I lived in like a very Italian town. It's like, all right, so yeah, here's what you need to do. Bring us like 500 goldfish to the pool. We're going to put them in a pool for the kids. Kids have a nice time, okay?
God.
Just put 500 goldfish in the pool.
That's fucked up.
I think it's
Those
just
poor
different
fish.
because their fun is completely different than ours. Their fun is online. Does that make sense? Their fun lives
Yeah.
forever. Our fun doesn't. Whatever happens in school, I can forget about it. Like if I fought in high school, nobody knows my record because there's no documentation of it now.
Right.
So everything they do is documented. So they have to relive all their memories again. I think it's harder to be a kid now.
100%. There's a
100%.
dude at my job who's like probably about 6 years younger than me. And he had the major difference, I think, is like, you know how they say like certain events like will delineate and like distinguish like one generation from another? I think 100% one thing that distinguishes our generation from the people just a few years younger than us is whether or not you had Facebook in high school. If you had
Totally.
Facebook in high school, that was a very
MySpace.
different experience.
Wow, that's so true. Because I literally got it first year of college
Yeah, same.
and not before.
Oh, no.
Right?
Yeah.
I got
Yeah.
it.
College.
So
Well, my brother got it.
Summer going
junior.
into-
My brother went to college in 05 and he told me to download Facebook. And
Yeah.
I was like, I got MySpace. I
Yeah,
ain't worried about
Facebook
Facebook.
in high school, dude, that's tough.
I had Friendster. I had
Now,
Friendster.
we had
Zanga.
what was it called though?
Black Planet.
No, it was a thing. I literally remember I used to like post
Mi
raps
gente?
on it. I was like, yo, I'm an aviator, not a pilot, but I couldn't fly
Tumblr.
shit with the ganja I lit. What was it
Wait,
called?
Tumblr?
No, it was like
Was it MySpace?
maybe it was
MySpace.
It was
MySpace.
MySpace.
Maybe
You
it
could
was
rap up there. I
MySpace.
dropped some raps up
Yeah.
there too. Yeah.
Yeah, I had
Humiliating,
MySpace
but
and
I
then
don't know.
Facebook.
Does MySpace exist anymore?
Yeah, it still
does for
But you
music.
can't get your old pictures back. I asked. I wrote them.
Wait, but if there's an old profile, which I don't even know if I have an old profile, could I find it?
It'll be just new. It's a new. Once
it'll be
you add
gone.
it again,
It's just for music. A lot of musicians and bands use it, I think,
Okay.
MySpace. Yeah. No?
I have old pictures I was trying to
No,
get off. I
dead?
can't get
Okay.
them. There's pictures I got that are lost forever.
Wow.
Gotta put
Okay,
on
but
MySpace.
MySpace was fairly benign. I feel.
No.
Having Facebook in high school is tough.
No, the top 8? Are you nuts? that was
Oh, I
drama.
forgot about
That was the first time dudes ever slid in DMs. That was the
Yeah.
first time we realized that girls were in different places around the world, and you could just say whatever you want to them.
Right.
I was talking to chicks in freaking everywhere. I was like, "No, I'll be in Japan.
like,
Don't worry,
look-
I'll be over there."
This guy
See them
from
cheeks.
I was like, "Yeah, I'll be over there. What? You live in Germany? We could be over there." That was the first time we realized that there were no bounds.
Wow.
Literally.
I posted a picture of like me and my girl Liz doing whatever the fuck we do, like in the Lower East Side when you're like 19, and some guy from Eastern Europe commented, "You are too much rock and roll.
He said, he's like, very cool, girls, very cool.
You're too much rock and roll."
MySpace was
funny.
litty, man.
It was.
MySpace was everything. You had your own music in the background.
That's right.
And that was the first time we ever met trolls and bots. That was the
Yeah.
first time we ever got a hold of them. I was
Wait,
like, this
but what
person's
about
not real.
AIM? Do you remember AIM profiles where like you'd
Yes.
list, you just be like, shout out to my girls, and then list all your friends, and like if someone didn't list you, you're like, I'll cut myself.
Yeah.
And then you're like, oh, and the boys too, and it's like, then you'd have a quote. My quote was always, if you can't beat them, use a bat.
Oh.
And it's like, for what reason did I think that was like applied to me?
We
Never
were,
once did I get in a bat fight ever. Not once.
bad fight?
Never once. Are we old? I don't think we are.
Yes, we are.
Yeah.
Yes.
Totally.
Yeah, we are.
You know,
for
go
sure.
out dancing. Them knees will tell you. Them knees will tell you how old you are. I played softball this summer. It took me 4 days to recover.
Yeah.
We're old, but we're not old. We're just in the middle of life, or almost the middle of.
We're not old. We're middle aged.
We're on the
Yeah.
third floor. We on that third floor of life, where every moment matters now. Does that make sense?
Yes.
Yeah.
You think about everything. I think about that all the time, about just cherishing moments. And like even like seeing like kids in school, I'm like, you don't even know when you get old, you're gonna cherish these moments and remember. Like these dudes that I went to middle school, high school with are still my friends to this day.
Yeah.
Still to this day, I still got like boys and homies that like will bump into me and like, oh, that's cool, you do stand up, and I run into them on the street and stuff like that. He says, this is the time. If you cry when you're not making onions, when you're just up at 3:00 in the morning watching a sad ESPN documentary, you're old.
You old.
You're freaking old.
I cried watching the
Air
Jordan
Bud?
thing. No, the
Oh.
Jordan thing. Was it The Last Dance?
Last Dance.
Oof.
I found it, I gotta be honest, a little repetitive and redundant. It kept being like an hour in the 1993 Game 7 of the 4th series, and I go, okay, just give me the facts.
I think it was
Too
the
many
part
series.
when they showed Rodman was in Vegas.
Too many series.
It is. It's too many serious.
Too many series. When you cry when you saw Robin in Vegas.
Well, because they played Big Pun over it. And I was just like, what a moment in time.
Yeah, it's like we love the period of time that we were young for, so we don't know. But I agree. I tend to agree. I'm like, okay, there's no way that the online culture can replicate the in-person culture that we grew up with.
You'll be surprised.
Yeah.
You'll be surprised how much time they spend online with each other where they feel like a family.
They feel it. They
They're
feel
like
the
on,
same.
like, imagine how they bonded in that pandemic, having them headsets on and everything else. It's just
Yeah.
they're physically not around each other, but we're technically physically. I feel like you get closer to a person. Think about like technology, how like when you used to see person, next time you saw a person was at high school the next day. And now you could literally FaceTime somebody. You could literally get closer with somebody by just a phone, you know?
That's true.
I think they're more emotional now because they have more intimate moments than we ever had.
Also, when you're FaceTiming someone, you actually look more in their eyes. I don't
Yeah.
know. I find that.
Yeah.
Do you? Like
No, for real.
Like how many times have I looked in your eyes here? Not that many. I'll do it now just to be
16.
creepy.
I'm not catching. I mean, I like it.
But then if I'm like young on the FaceTime, I don't know if I ever looked into someone's eyes till I was like 24 years old, to be honest.
Right.
Now that I'm thinking about it, I'm like,
Think
I don't
about
know
that.
if I did.
They have constant
That was
communication with each
cagey.
other.
Yeah.
They have
But
a
we
way.
had the chirp. We had the
No,
chirp.
no.
But we had Webster Hall. Don't you see?
Yeah.
They knew
Don't
where
you
each
see?
other's
Had the
location
tunnel.
was. They knew where each
We
other's
had Club
location
Exit.
was.
Don't you see?
Dog, they have more intimate moments than we did because we saw each other the next day. It took us till high school. They got phones now.
Which is way more intimate.
Right.
You can't finger bang on a FaceTime. Sorry, I hate that
You
term.
sh-
I'm sorry.
can. No, but this is high school. This is what we have. This is terminology. We have to
Yeah.
meet them where they are. But no,
Yeah.
this is. But you can. They just do it over the phone, I guess.
That's true.
But I don't know. I don't know. Like, would I rather be alive today than then? I don't think so.
No.
No.
I want to be. I like where I was born. I wish I was in the 80s.
Yeah.
I wish I was in high school in the 80s. That would have sounded fun.
High school in the 80s?
Yeah.
I don't know.
No thanks.
No.
I don't think so.
I think I would have been a huge comic then. I would have been saying
know,
stuff
I
that
know.
nobody said.
I know.
What the stuff that they were getting away with, the stuff they were saying, I would have
Yeah.
been way better than them.
That's true.
Yeah.
Damn.
What's that movie with Hot Tub Time Machine?
Yeah.
Yeah, I would go to a different era. I'd be in the 20s.
I
They
feel
wouldn't
like-
like me, but I'd be in the 20s.
Yeah. I go, yeah.
What is that black dude doing? I was like, oh, sorry. I thought I was in Canada.
You like you like come up on Miss and Mrs. Maisel is on Mrs.
Hey.
Maisel, whatever that bitch's
Yeah.
name is on
Marvelous
stage.
Miss Maisel. Hey,
Yeah,
let me do a quick
Let me
set.
do a quick 5, babe.
Quick 5.
Just a quick 5.
Get back in that kitchen. Like, oh, I don't work here. I'm from the future.
You're like, man, I'm 2023.
Wow, what a good movie that would be.
I feel like we grew up, or like we came of age in like the sweet spot where people were understanding you should strive towards being nicer, but we were not yet there. So there was like still a lot of like humor, but we had the understanding that you should strive towards being better.
Mr. Rogers, man.
People above us, like our parents and older people's generations, they were not trying to be better people. And they were not trying to be nicer. They were just like, bring our boys home from Vietnam or whatever they were. Like one Kennedy got killed and then they had to like do coke and cheat on their wives for 40 years.
Yeah.
They couldn't handle it. They lost their minds.
Millennials were the first group of people that went to therapy willingly.
Yeah. And we were just like, you know what? I think we're not, we're just like, yeah, I'm not sure if we're great people, but we should try.
Yes, that was us. We were the first
We're the first
generation that
triers.
tried to fix people. We were the first people. We're the first one that seen trauma. We seen
Yeah.
trauma as kids.
That's facts. I was
Yeah.
15. I was,
Shoot, 9/11, we were
yeah,
kids.
I
Yeah.
was 15. That was crazy. That was the day Jay-Z's Blueprint came out. Shout
Come
out.
on,
Shout
freaking
out Jiggy Jay-Z.
Mufasa. Freaking killed, man. Come on, dog.
Wait, what was that day? The day you went to therapy?
No, September 11th
Nah,
was when the
September
Blueprint
11th.
came out.
I remember they had they had like MT-16 guns. They were riding around on 4-wheelers, and we had a lockdown in our house, everything
you
else.
were in like the
I was
military.
in Tokyo.
scenario.
Yeah, everybody locked down the base. Guns were drawn. Everything else.
That's
We're
wild.
on Delta. It was Delta. Base was locked down on Delta. Nobody could move. And then my mom was trying to explain to me. I was like, "What's the Trade Center?" And she goes, "The terrorists attacked it." I was like, "Where? Where?"
Yeah, I had no idea.
and
I'm
they
from
played
here.
it every day for 3 weeks straight.
Wow.
And POD had the biggest song ever.
What's that?
I feel so alive for the very first time. I think I can fly. It was a Christian rock band. They had the #1 song on TRL the whole time.
Wait a minute. I'm obsessed with just this picture you're painting of being like an American kid in Tokyo
Yeah.
on an American Air Force?
Air Force
Base on 9/11, not knowing what the World Trade Center is, listening to POD, but still being locked down. Now, were they trying to gas you guys up to get ready? Because they were like putting everyone on high alert, right? For like war and shit.
No, we couldn't even go outside our house. Like they literally locked
What
us.
was your pops doing?
He was gone. My dad was he was in another country, so we were worried about him. He was on TDY, but my mom like woke us up because it happened for us. We were 14 hours ahead, so it happened for us like at night. So
Yeah,
when
it
we
was 9
woke
a.m.
up,
here.
it was just playing the whole time.
Not to get in the weeds here, but so so you guys live on a base, and then your dad still travels around to work. So it's
Still
not like your
works.
dad works on the base.
He works on the base, but like every couple months, all the Air Force do temporary deployment where
Yeah.
they go around and do TDY.
They gotta do a
all
little
over.
something. What's TDY?
TDY is like we training somewhere and going to a skill. I was like plenty of like my dad. I remember he went to went to Qatar for a year.
Okay,
We didn't see our dad for a year. He's gone for a year.
that's wild.
My mom was just 4 kids, just raising us, just all by herself.
That's wild.
That's
as hell.
wild. That's crazy.
That's
Imagine
a
her,
long
like,
time
trying
to
to
not
get-
get
yeah,
Sorry,
like-
respect to your mom.
Shoot,
Yeah.
I remember
Much respect
as
to
I
your
get
mother.
older, I started realizing, dang, my mom was going through a lot, man. Just dealing with 4 kids, no privacy, anything else. She used to be just, all right, everybody take a nap. Everybody just take a nap. She just wanted an hour to herself.
Yeah.
Damn.
POD. Actually, you know who hates the Taliban worse than everybody else?
Your mom.
Swimming pools. Not the, what's the band? Let the bodies hit the floor. Let the bodies hit the. You know that song came out during 9/11.
No.
Really?
Yes.
Oh, because
And
it was
pulled-
a Tuesday,
they
and
pulled-
records used to
Yeah.
come out on
They
Tuesdays,
pulled
not
the
Fridays.
song because they pulled the song.
Shit.
Yeah, that song. Yeah, that big song. They pulled it
Because it was too like,
to act well.
yeah, it was
People-
too like let the bodies hit the floor.
Let
We
the
can't do
bodies
this.
hit
Not
the
today,
floor.
please.
But
Not
yeah.
today, please.
Everybody's rocking out to that song, and they
Damn.
pulled that song off. Drowning Pool. What's it called again?
Drowning pool. Let
Drowning
the
Pool.
bodies,
Yeah.
I think it's called Let the Bodies.
hit the floor. Yeah, that song came out in 2001, and they had
Not
to
in
pull
my
it.
algorithm.
Yo, so we are traumatized.
It's not in my algorithm. I'm sorry.
It's not.
What is Gen Z's, and we'll end on this. Yeah, we will end on this. What is Gen Z's 9/11? Do they have one?
I mean, huh?
COVID?
Yeah,
Oh, sees what? COVID was the best summer of our lives.
that's because we're older. We enjoyed the rest. We were resting.
Well, yeah, they weren't drinking in
That's
a
true.
parking lot with Michael Che. Like,
They were panicking. They were with their parents.
That's true. That's horrible. What a horrible experience.
Yeah, their pandemic was COVID-19.
Okay. That's pretty bad, I guess. I'm sorry I was flippant about it. But
it was so prolonged, though. It's so like for us, listen, I mean, everyone has different strokes for different folks, obviously, if you lost someone in 9/11. But like for most of us who didn't, it's like, all right, it happened the one day. I went to high school in Manhattan. So like I just didn't go to high school the rest of the week. Maybe we had a week off, but that was it.
I think we had a week off for sure. I wasn't even that
My boy
close.
went to Stuyvesant, which was like right there. And they were like, you're good to go back. I called him the other day. I was like, yo, I just saw a commercial. Do you got like mesothelioma or anything like that? And he was like, I don't think so. I was like, all right, well, check it out.
Yeah. Well, folks, we got to wrap it up.
Thank y'all for having me.
Thank you for so much for coming. Where can people find you?
You can find me on Instagram, Mr. Waters, Mr. Waters. If you see a black dude on the horse, that's me. TikTok, same thing. Black dude on a horse, that's me. If you're free in Astoria, every Wednesday, 7:15, best comedy show this side of the Mississippi River, right there in Astoria Park, right next to the pool. Every first and third Sunday service at 12 a.m. Come through. That's where you can find me.
There you go. Triboro Trina.
Holla at Jaguala. I'm on Instagram as Julo, Jew_LO, because it's like J-Lo, but half Jewish.
Listen, it was a great trip down memory lane. Congratulations to everyone who's starting their new grade right now. Please change your life and make this the best year ever. Okay? See you next week.
Peace to the Middle East.
Peace to the Middle East as well and to Tokyo as well.